Hey, everybody. Welcome back to How Do You Lead the Management Style Masterclass. I can't wait to finish up this masterclass with you all. It's good to see. Oh, look, we already have some faces on here. Um, I moved my screen and it glitches a little. Okay. We've already gone through 2 full days of information. The first day we talked about, what is management styles? What's the difference between management and leadership? We talked about different management styles that you could learn from. Yesterday we talked about ways that you can apply management styles and called out a few of them. Today is really more like a working session. So if you're looking at how do I go implement um, management styles, what do I do? How do I build a plan? How do I take this seriously and support my team with being flexible in my management style? Or how do I change what I'm doing? Or how do I start being a good leader if you're a new leader or you're an up and coming leader and you may be leading a team soon? So I built a few questions, this like page of a worksheet, and I really wanted to walk through it with you all. And if you don't have time to do it right now, no big deal. You can do it on your own time whenever. But I kind of wanted to walk through it so you guys can kind of hear what it is. I really don't think this is going to take 30 minutes. I think it's going to be less than 15, probably even less than 10. Okay. Because we have 3 different sections here on, um, excuse me, on how would you create a plan to start implementing different management styles. So the first one we've already talked about this quite a bit. It's about being self-aware. And then some of the questions that you can just like sit and ponder on or even like journal out. Journaling is really helpful for me. I don't know if y'all know that. I have multiple journals. This is my personal journal. I take it with me everywhere. I love that it comes with these little tabs in the back. And it even has a little place for your pen, a little stretchy. It's like a hair thing, kind of like this thing in my hair. But in the back, it actually has a little pocket too, right here, so you can put stuff in it. But it comes with all these little tabs. And I find this on Amazon. This is where I get this journal. I love it. I'll probably buy me a new one whenever I run out. I'm only about halfway done with it, and I've had it for about a year. However, I also use one for work that's similar. It doesn't have the little thing on the side, but I like that it closes. It's got the same little thing, and it has a place marker in it. I just keep some of these tabs on hand so I can mark important things. Actually, one of these is from a meeting I had almost a year ago. Uh, Whenever I was meeting with a customer, and it was information that I got from them that I really wanted to hang on to. So, like, I marked that. But, anyways, I have a few journals because I like to keep some things separate. Like that's my work journal right now. This is my personal journal. But I kind of work things out by writing. Um, and you may want to do the same thing with this. So spend some time on self-awareness. Think about how do you like to be led and how do you like to be managed, and just kind of write that out. What are some of the things that you appreciate? Whether it's empowerment to go try new things, whether it's encouragement to fail fast as opposed to don't fail at all, don't screw things up. How do you like to be led or managed? The second one is, do you like to know all the details of every decision? And you may know why I ask about this. Um, if you feel like you have to know every detail of every decision, you might be a micromanager. Kind of like Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck. You might be a micromanager if you have to know the details of every decision. The third one I have on here is, do you ask multiple questions after an employee provides a solution? And I don't mean asking questions just to understand. Seeking to understand is one thing, but if you ask them multiple questions, like badgering them on basically questions that you're identifying whether or not they did it like you would do it, again, you might be micromanaging. The fourth question I have here for self-awareness is, do you believe that there's more than one way to solve a problem? And the reason I ask that is because I like to do things a certain way, but whenever I became a leader, one of my first roles as a leader, I very quickly was able to let go of there's only one way to do things. There's lots of ways to do a lot of things. Now, you may have processes at work or in your company that you have to follow those processes. Now, that's a little different. But with math, there's lots of ways of solving math problems. With physics problems, there's lots of ways of solving physics problems. There's a lot of ways to solve technical problems, emotional problems, physical problems. If you feel like people have to solve problems the exact same way you do, you might be a micromanager. So that's kind of what I'm asking you some of these questions for. How do you like to be led and managed? And then maybe just some, probing questions to see how controlling you are with things. Okay. So that's some things you need to find some awareness on. And then the second block is more about spending time on team awareness. We talked yesterday and even the day before about how you probably have to personalize things by every person on your team. And that's some of the questions that I have here in this section on spend time on team awareness. How do they respond to your current management style? Do you have people openly asking questions about things, or do people not say a word in your meetings? If people don't interact with you in meetings, it could mean one of a few things, right? One could be they completely understand you and you're a communication genius. It's possible. Probably not likely. I don't think anybody's perfect at communication. It could be that you've conditioned them not to say anything. They're afraid to speak up. Another thing could be if they're not working with you, or giving you feedback, is that they're embarrassed or they don't feel encouraged to speak up in a meeting because other people on the team may hold them back or may judge them or may say something to them afterwards. That also goes back to your job as a leader or a manager to make sure that your team feels comfortable bringing things up in front of the team. If somebody's on the team that is stifling innovation, stifling information share, that's a problem too. So you may have to root some of that out. Do they come to you with detailed questions regularly? So do you have someone that wants, A to Z how to do something? Because some people actually need that. They do. Or do you have people who are capable of completing complex tasks with little support? These are some of the things you should ask yourself about all of your team members, because it helps you understand how you serve them best. Do they need more detailed information to do something, or are they very autonomous and very independent and can go run with things and be, need very little support, very little oversight? So are they working low risk tasks or high risk tasks? And the reason I asked this last question here on team awareness, and again, these are just a starting point. You can ask yourself lots of questions and just kind of ponder and journal through them. But whenever you're giving away low tasks, those are things you should easily delegate. Things that are high risk that you need to pay more attention to, you may have a challenge on delegating this task. I talk about this a lot whenever I talk about delegating and automating. You have to think about what those things are and the risk of it getting screwed up. So think about that. And if you have people who are doing low risk tasks and they still require a lot of hand holding, that may or may not be the right employee for your team, may not be the right team member. I'm not saying go fire somebody. I'm just saying some people do need more hand holding, but eventually they should be able to do work on their own independently. All right, the last grouping here I have is about looking at history. And this, again, we're going back to journaling. So I want you to do some self-reflection here. So how do you currently do business, and how do you want to do business based on the team you're in, the people you work with, and the situations you're working in? So the first one's thinking about the last quarter or the last year where your management style may not have matched a situation. Think about those scenarios, maybe where you handled something and it didn't go well. And then the second one is recognize when your management style was spot on. So then the flip side, right? So think about a time where you handled the situation really well. So just go look at those things and look at them very objectively. Kind of like after you go play a round of golf, you can go back and not be mad at yourself on how good or bad you did, more objectively of, I should have paid attention to the wind. I should have maybe taken another eye at whether or not my angle was right. Maybe I should have waited for the wind to stop, or, whatever. Maybe I shouldn't have had 3 or 4 beers, whatever it is. Go back and make that objective thought pattern and journal, or just think through, what went well, what could be better. Um, and maybe look for patterns. Okay. So the third one I have is think through the types of decisions in all of those events, um, and generalize, maybe put them in groups, right? These kinds of things were handled better whenever I was more democratic. These kinds of things went better whenever chaos was going on, that I was more direct and autocratic, you know? So just go look at those things, and there's probably a time and a place where in general autocratic works in emergency situations. Democratic works more in innovative situations. You know what I'm saying? So go back and think through those things. So then the last one is, how can you really flex your style moving forward, depending on each team member, when you're working with them, and which decisions at hand. So what really works best for you during those times. So these are things that you should just think through and just journal through it. And maybe, set a meeting notice on your calendar to go back and look at it in a week, and then read through your notes again. And then maybe journal out some more things that maybe you've learned since then. Okay. So that's how you really go make a plan on how you're going to do something different. And the more you go through this kind of data, the more you reflect on it. And again, not good or bad, like you did something good or you did something bad. It was just objective data. And next time I'm in this type of situation, I may be more democratic, or I may be more laissez-faire, and empower my people to let them do their jobs, especially for things that are really low risk. And I know they can handle it without with very little direction. So just kind of think through those things. All right. So it's not a plan. I'm going to make you go write it on a, big chief pad, and you go tick off the things as you do it. It's really more of a reflective plan. So you can go think through some things, maybe have some lessons learned. And again, just be objective, not judgmental. Don't judge yourself or beat yourself up for things you didn't do well or should have done better or whatever. Don't think of it as good as bad. Okay. Just what worked well and what didn't. And you'll have to morph again and be flexible again the next time that you're in a new team. All right. That's what I have for you all today. I would love to hear from you guys on how this session resonated with you. Maybe some key takeaways that you had on how to lead. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to keep it short and sweet. I know yesterday ran a little over 30 minutes. I really wanted to keep it under 30 minutes. I kind of got tongue tied here and there. So, and then again, I told you guys that we're working on building a retreat to have in mid-September. And I just opened up a couple of one-on-one coaching slots. If somebody is looking for that, just drop the word coach here, and we'll get back to you on that. And we can just chat about whether or not it's a good fit for you. Okay. I hope you guys have a great time. I hope you've had a great time. And I'm going to leave these up for a couple more days, probably through Friday. And then I'm going to take them down and probably use them in a paid course moving forward. So you guys have until, let's just say, midnight Friday to catch up on this. And then we will, like I said, take them down and reuse them, remaster them, all of the things, and make them available after that. Okay. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday and hump day, if that is for you. Yesterday was my hump day, but hope you guys are having a great Wednesday and a great evening, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.